on FaceTime with her mom. She said, "Don't worry, I'm just having fun. I'd never actually marry a mechanic." Forgot I was in the background. I quietly packed my tools and left. Her mom called me the next day asking why I wasn't coming to Sunday dinner anymore. I'm a 33-year-old guy who runs a custom motorcycle restoration shop. We specialize in vintage Harleys and rare European bikes, mostly for collectors and enthusiasts. It's not a business that makes huge amounts of money, but it provides a steady income. And I genuinely love what I do. Picture 1970s, Triumphs and 1950s panheads. Not your typical garage. I've been seeing Jessica, a 29-year-old woman, for about 15 months now. We met at a coffee shop and hit it off right away. She seemed genuinely interested when I told her about my business, asking all sorts of questions about the restoration process, and even visited the shop a few times to check out our projects. Her family, though, is a different story. They're upper middle class, with both of her parents being CPAs. They've always been focused on professional careers and the traditional idea of success. Her mom, Linda, especially, has been polite but distant from the start. She's always asking about my business plan and whether I'm thinking about expanding into other areas. Never outright rude, but it's clear she's not thrilled. Sunday dinners at their house became a regular thing after about 6 months. Linda would make elaborate meals, and her dad, Tom, would talk investments. Honestly, I enjoyed it despite Linda's subtle disapproval. The food was great, Tom was interesting to chat with, and Jessica seemed happy to have me there. Last Sunday, everything started off as usual. Jessica and I arrived around 2 p.m., and Linda made her usual spread. After we ate, we were all sitting around, and around 4 p.m., Jessica got a FaceTime call from her college roommate, Sarah, who had moved to Portland. "Oh my God, Sarah, I haven't talked to you in forever. How's the new job?" Jessica took the call into the living room while Tom and I cleared the dishes. I could hear them catching up, laughing about mutual friends and old stories. "Mom, come here. Sarah wants to say hi to you too." Jessica called out, and Linda made her way to the living room. I finished loading the dishwasher and headed that way to grab my jacket from the coat closet. That's when I heard it. Sarah must have asked about me because Jessica's voice lowered, but not enough. "Oh, him. He's sweet, but don't worry, Mom. I'm just having fun. I'd never actually marry a mechanic." Then I heard Linda's voice, cold and dismissive. "Well, good. I was starting to worry you were getting serious. Please, can you imagine bringing a grease monkey to my company events? I mean, he's fine for now, but I'm not stupid." I stood there in the hallway, just behind the living room entrance. Jessica was sitting on the couch, facing away from me, and Linda was sitting in the chair, angled so she couldn't see me either. The phone was propped up on the coffee table between them, showing Sarah's face on screen. My brain just went quiet. No anger, just this weird clarity, like puzzle pieces falling into place. I turned and walked back to the kitchen, told Tom I had to head out early for a work thing, and quietly slipped out the back door. I got in my truck and drove home. Spent the rest of Sunday evening just thinking. It wasn't exactly hurt, more like I was finally seeing the situation for what it really was. Jessica had been playing house with me for over a year while already planning my eventual replacement. All those family dinners, meeting her friends, talking about maybe taking a trip together, it was all just temporary entertainment. The next morning, I was at the shop early, working on a 1972 Sportster engine rebuild. Good for keeping my hands busy while I processed everything. Around 10 a.m., Jessica texted, "Hey babe, you left early yesterday. Everything okay?" "Yeah, all good. Want to grab dinner tonight?" "Can't. Working late on the Sportster. Tomorrow then. This restoration's going to keep me busy for a while." She didn't push it, probably relieved to have some space from her charity case. Tuesday evening, Jessica calls. "Mike, what's going on? You've been acting different since Sunday. Just focused on work. Are we okay?" "We're fine, Jessica. Just busy. When can I see you?" "I'll let you know when this project's done." I hang up, knowing she's confused. But I'm not ready for that conversation yet. There are some practical things I need to handle first. On Wednesday, I start quietly removing my stuff from Jessica's apartment. Just the basics. Tools I kept there for emergencies, a socket set, multimeter, jumper cables, things I brought over during the 15 months of fixing her car issues and helping with moves. Thursday, I update my emergency contact info at the bank and insurance company. I had listed Jessica a few months back when she offered, after I mentioned not having family nearby. Seemed practical at the time. Friday morning, Linda calls. First time she's ever called me directly. "Mike, honey, Jessica mentioned you two had some kind of disagreement. What happened?" "Interesting." Jessica told her we fought but didn't say what about. "No disagreement, Linda. Everything's fine." "Well, good. We missed you at dinner Sunday. You're coming this weekend, right?" "Actually, I'm going to be tied up with work for the foreseeable future." "What? Why? Did we do something wrong?" "Nothing wrong, Linda. I just realized Sunday dinners aren't really working for my schedule anymore. That seems sudden. Are you sure everything's okay?" "Everything's fine. Take care." I hang up before she can ask more questions. Later that Friday, Jessica shows up at my shop while I'm reassembling the Sportster engine. "Mike, we need to talk." "About what?" "About whatever's been going on with you. My mom said you're not coming to dinner anymore. Are you ending things?" "I've just been thinking about what we both want long term." "What do you mean?" I wiped my hands and looked up at her, standing there in her business outfit, clearly annoyed that I was disrupting her routine. "I mean, whether we're actually compatible for the long haul?" "Of course we are. We've been together over a year. Have we really been together, or have you just been keeping me around temporarily?" Her face changes instantly. "Mike, I don't know what you think." "I know exactly what I think, Jessica. I heard what you said to your mom on Sunday." She goes pale. I didn't mean it how it sounded." How did you mean it then? I was just… My mom's been asking about our future, and I was trying to buy time by telling her you'd never marry a mechanic and calling me a grease monkey. I was just managing her expectations. I wasn't thinking clearly. You were thinking very clearly. You were being honest about how you see me and my career. That's not true. It's completely true. And that's fine, Jessica. You're allowed to want what you want. But I'm not interested in being your temporary entertainment. Mike, please. We're done. Take care of yourself. I went back to working on the engine, and she eventually left. Saturday brought a flood of texts. Apologies, explanations, requests to talk. I didn't respond. Sunday morning, Linda calls again. Mike, what happened? Jessica's been upset all weekend. Did she tell you what she said on her FaceTime call? She said you overheard something and misunderstood it. Linda, I heard your daughter tell her friend that she'd never marry a mechanic and wouldn't bring a grease monkey to work events. There's nothing to misunderstand. Long silence. She was talking about you. She was talking about me to you. You were part of the conversation. Another silence. I remember that call now. I thought she was speaking hypothetically. She wasn't. Mike, I had no idea you heard that. Now you do. And now you know why I won't be coming to dinner anymore. The conversation ended awkwardly. Linda sounded genuinely surprised, which told me Jessica had been spinning her own version of events. That Sunday evening, Jessica showed up at my apartment. Mike, please just listen. There's nothing to listen to. I made a mistake. I was trying to manage my mom's pressure about marriage. You were being honest about your real feelings. No, I wasn't. I love you. You love having someone convenient who fixes your problems. That's different. That's not fair. Fair? You spent 15 months planning to trade up for me and got caught saying it out loud. She starts crying, but I'm past caring. Go find yourself a nice accountant, Jessica. Someone your mom will approve of. I closed the door. It's been 4 days since then. She's left notes, flowers, even tried coming to the shop again. I told my employee, Jake, not to let her pass the front office area. Her friends have been messaging me about being stubborn and unforgiving. But this wasn't some momentary mistake. This was her real opinion about me and my work, said when she thought I couldn't hear it. I'm not angry, just done wasting time on someone who saw me as a placeholder, while she looked for someone better. Back to building bikes for people who actually appreciate the work. Update 1. 1 week later. This week's been educational. Thanks for all the comments and support. It's good to see that most people understand why I'm not interested in being someone's backup plan until Mr. Right shows up. Jessica's damage control campaign has been predictable. She's telling everyone that I misunderstood what she said, and I'm being unreasonable about a simple miscommunication. Monday, her friend Chloe showed up at the shop. Mike, you're being ridiculous. Jessica loves you. Jessica loves convenience. She made one comment to get her mom off her back. You're destroying a good relationship over nothing, Chloe said. Chloe, she called me a grease monkey and said she'd be embarrassed to bring me to work events to her mother while her mother agreed. That's not nothing. She was frustrated and said something stupid. She said something honest when she thought I couldn't hear it. Chloe tried guilt-tripping me for a few more minutes before giving up. Tuesday brought an unexpected call. It was Linda again. Mike, I owe you an apology. For what? For my attitude towards you. I had a long talk with Jessica yesterday about what happened. Okay. She tried to blame it on me. Said I'd been pressuring her to find someone more professional and she was just telling me what I wanted to hear. I told her that was nonsense. I never said anything about wanting her to date someone more professional. Linda explained that after our conversation, she'd been thinking about her own behavior toward me. I realized I had been standoffish about your work without really understanding what you do. So I looked up some information about motorcycle restoration. Most people don't know much about it. I didn't know the skill level involved or that vintage bikes can be worth serious money. I was judging based on assumptions. Happens a lot in my line of work. I also realized you were always respectful to our family, even when I was being difficult. I appreciated the dinners, Linda. Tom's been asking when you're coming back. He really enjoyed talking with you about business and current events. Tom's a good man. Would you consider coming this Sunday? I promise Jessica won't be there. I thought about it. The dinners had been nice except for the underlying tension that I now understood better. Maybe. Let me think about it. Wednesday, Jessica escalated things. She showed up at my apartment with Linda in tow. Mike, I asked Mom to come so we could all talk this through, Jessica said, looking anxious. Linda looked uncomfortable. I told Jessica this was between you two, but she insisted. Linda spoke, her voice hesitant. What did you want to say, Linda? Just that I'm sorry if my attitude contributed to Jessica feeling like she had to defend your relationship to me. Jessica jumped in quickly, trying to smooth things over. See, this was all just family pressure and miscommunication. I turned to Linda. Did you ever tell Jessica she shouldn't date mechanics? No. Did you ever say she should find someone more professional? No, I said she should find someone who treated her well and had their life together. You clearly qualified. Jessica's expression shifted, realizing her excuse was falling apart. Linda, when Jessica said she'd never marry a mechanic on that call, did you agree because you felt that way too? Linda looked at Jessica, then back at me. I agreed because I was surprised she felt that way, not because I shared the opinion. I was actually confused by her comment. Jessica, stop. You said what you said. Own it instead of trying to blame everyone else. The dynamic was changing right in front of me. Linda was seeing her daughter's character more clearly. Mike, I'll do anything to fix this, Jessica said desperately. There's nothing to fix. You showed me exactly how you feel about me and my work. I believe you, but I was wrong. You weren't wrong, Jessica. You were honest, and I'd rather know the truth than live a lie. They left, with Jessica in tears and Linda looking thoughtful. Thursday, Tom called me directly. Mike, I don't know all the details of what happened with Jessica, but I want you to know you're welcome in our home regardless. Thanks, Tom. I appreciate that. Linda told me some of what was said. You handled it with more class than most men would have. No point in making a scene. You thinking about coming to dinner Sunday? Yeah, I might. Linda apologized and it seemed genuine. Good. I'll have beer ready, Tom replied. Friday brought Jessica's most desperate move yet. She showed up at the shop with a ring box. Mike, I want to marry you. Jake and my other employee both stopped what they were doing, watching this unfold. Jessica, what are you doing? I'm proposing. I bought this ring to prove how serious I am about us. You bought yourself an engagement ring. I wanted to show you I'm ready to commit. You want to marry me now because you got caught saying you wouldn't. I want to marry you because I love you and I made a terrible mistake. I looked at this woman standing in my shop with a ring she bought herself, trying to undo the most honest thing she'd ever said about me. Jessica, 2 weeks ago you told your mother you'd never marry a mechanic. Today you're proposing to one. Which version is real? This version? The one standing here? No, the real version is the one who said what she actually thought when she didn't know I was listening. Mike, please. The answer is no to all of it. We're done. She left crying with the ring still in her hand. Saturday, I worked on the Sportster. Peaceful, methodical work. It was good for processing everything that had happened. Sunday, I decided to go to Linda and Tom's for dinner. Final update, 1 month later. It's been a month since I overheard Jessica's real opinion about me, and the aftermath has been more interesting than I expected. I did go to that Sunday dinner at Linda and Tom's. Jessica wasn't there, which Linda had arranged beforehand. It was actually really comfortable. We talked about normal things, current events, Tom's golf league, Linda's book club. The underlying tension I'd gotten used to was completely gone. Before I left, Linda pulled me aside. Mike, I want you to know how much I respect the way you've handled the situation. You had every right to be angry or vindictive. No point in being angry, Linda. Jessica showed me who she really is. Most people would have tried to embarrass her or cause drama. That's not my style. Tom and I have talked about this extensively. We both think you're a decent man who deserved better treatment than what you got. That conversation meant something to me. Getting that kind of respect from her parents, even after breaking up with their daughter, felt like validation. Week 2 brought Jessica's final attempt at reconciliation. She came to the shop with what she called a business opportunity. Mike, I want to invest in your shop, help you expand. Why would you want to do that? Because I believe in your work now. I understand what you do. Jessica, 3 weeks ago you called my work a grease monkey job. Now you want to invest? I researched motorcycle restoration after we broke up. I know it requires real skill. You Googled it after you got caught showing your true feelings. I'm trying to make things right. You can't buy respect for my work after spending 15 months pretending to have it. She kept pushing the investment angle for another 10 minutes before finally accepting that I wasn't interested. The really satisfying part has been watching the family dynamics shift. Jessica's been telling extended family that I'm being stubborn and unforgiving over a tiny comment. But Linda and Tom have been setting the record straight. At some family gathering, when Jessica tried playing victim, Linda apparently shut it down. Jessica said what she said and she meant it. Mike has every right to end things with someone who's embarrassed by his career. Tom's been even more direct. He told his golf buddies, I was a skilled craftsman who his daughter never appreciated. Words have gotten around their social circle. Jessica's reputation has taken a hit, while mine's actually improved. Tom's referred 2 potential clients to me, guys with vintage bikes who heard I do quality work. The business investment story backfired on Jessica too. When people heard she offered to invest after the breakup, it made her look calculating and fake, like she was trying to buy her way back into a relationship she'd publicly dismissed. Meanwhile, the shop's doing well. I've got some new restoration projects, including a 1969 Triumph Bonneville that's going to be a beautiful build. Steady work, fair pay, and clients who actually appreciate craftsmanship. I've been seeing someone new. I met Sarah at a vintage bike show. She's a nurse who rides her own restored Honda. When I told her what I do, she wanted to see my shop and hear about current projects. No concern about status or professional prestige, just genuine interest in the work. Jessica texted me last week. I heard you're dating someone new. I hope you're happy. I didn't respond, but yeah, I am happy. Happy to be with someone who respects what I do instead of tolerating it temporarily. The revenge wasn't some elaborate plan. It was just walking away from someone who didn't value me and letting her own words speak for themselves. Jessica wanted a placeholder boyfriend while she searched for someone more suitable. Instead, she lost a solid relationship and damaged her standing with her own family. She thought she was having a private conversation about her temporary fling with the help. Instead, she revealed exactly who she really is to everyone who matters. Linda still texts occasionally to check in. Tom and I grab coffee sometimes to talk business. They've become friends independent of Jessica, which surprised me. Jessica's dealing with the consequences of thinking she was smarter than everyone else. Turns out when you talk down about someone behind their back, you end up revealing more about yourself than about them. I restore vintage motorcycles for people who appreciate quality and craftsmanship. Always have, always will. Jessica's opinion never changed that reality. It just showed she was never the right person to be part of my world. Now I'm with someone who gets it, and that makes all the difference.